Schmoopus, good to see you, dude. He says, Uncle Jake, irrevocable trust with a holding company LLC, 65%, plus a trading LLC with 35%, with price appreciation of $1,000 value, runs multiples of lifetime gift tax allowance. Can creative mitigation reduce liability, tax liability for trading LLC? I think so, and the way that I think you're going to be able to do that, maybe through a couple means. I'm hopeful, just like everybody else, that we get no capital gains on crypto for domestic digital assets. The only thing that's a domestic digital asset, in my opinion, is Ripple and XRP. They're the only company that stayed here onshore the whole time while Project Choke Point was going on, and they were in the lawsuit with the SEC, obviously. So will that apply to other digital assets? Again, hopeful that that's the case. But irrespective, that would be one way that you're allowed to mitigate those taxes in a trading LLC. You can also elect that these are commodities. And so there's a different tax regime that's applied to commodities trading versus equities or other securities or capital assets, which is what most people consider crypto. So I would highly recommend, speaking with your CPA and looking at designating what you're trading as a commodity versus capital asset. The other way that you could mitigate taxes on the trading corporation, you would probably want to incorporate language in there to be able to convert crypto to real estate. The way that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have structured this, it looks like there's a possibility that if you're trading crypto for real estate, there won't be tax implications, or they're deferred, kind of like a 1031. So, there's a couple different means by which you'd be able to do that, but the trading LLC is in the business of trading. So there's not a whole lot of things that you can really do outside of like going to a trading seminar or education around trading or publications that talk about trading or different conditions that might affect your strategy. You could write off subscriptions to all of those things, or education, or travel to events where you're learning about that stuff. Buying, again, unless there's provisions in your operating agreement that allow you to do so, the purchase of real estate would be outside of your business operations. So I'd work with a good estate planner and tax attorney and possibly facilitate, adding that to your operating agreement in the trading LLC if that really ends up being the case on the real estate side. Some of the other things that you could do would be use the Augusta rule. So you could. So what the Augusta rule is basically you can rent your residence or property that you own to your business at a fair market value and be able to not pay taxes on that and pay yourself out of the business up to 14 times per year. I'm trying to think in what situation you would need to rent a venue to yourself for your trading company. Maybe if you were putting on a seminar or had a group session, or somebody came to your house to teach you and other people about crypto trading or other trading algorithms, or you had them over for them to show you a product, an algorithmic trading strategy that you're going to look to allocate to. You need a narrative, right? Like it can't just be arbitrarily you rent your own house to your business and not have a documented reason or a contract. Like all this stuff has to be buttoned up. It's not like it's just arbitrarily cool, I did it and I paid myself. Like you have to have a legitimate reason to do it, contract between your business and yourself, all those things. So again, you want to work with the CPA, tax attorney, to make sure that this is all legitimate, the way that you are documenting this stuff in case you are audited. But these are legitimate reasons for these tax deductions. So those would be the things just top of mind that you might look at. I think the trading commodities versus trading capital assets is probably going to give you the most bang for your buck on that one. Same thing for the holding company. I would look at that. But yeah, that's good to see you on here. Good to see you at the Carbon 3 event that we had down in Austin here recently, and appreciate the question. Sam, oh, we already did this one. Sometimes it kicks me up in the chat. We just did that one also. My mother messed up, says legend. What's up, dude? Appreciate you on the kind words. All right, we'll scroll on down here. We got some more super chats. Rick, good to see you, Mr. Johnson. He says, Agenda 2030 happens. The have nothing and be happy. Tyrannical rules. Smart cities track us. 24/7 police. State. Up the wazoo. Will someone with 12,000 XRP, 20,000 HVAR be rich enough to be exempt from any of the tyranny? There, like I mentioned before, and I don't like this, right? I don't want there to be a caste system where people have less opportunity than they have today. But I feel like we're moving that direction, which again, not a big fan of, but with the way things are trending, to your point here, looks like that could be an outcome. If you have that type of allocation to digital assets, you're going to be doing better than most people in the future, in my personal opinion. Those will be high, stable prices for both of those assets. You'll be able to borrow against them. You'll be able to earn yield on them, use them to reduce returns, a bunch of different things. May even be able to do that tax-free, again, depending on the legislation that's passed and how that's worked out with Congress. All that being said, I think it's going to depend on what nation you live in, what jurisdiction you decide to reside in. If you lived, okay, so as an example, I don't know if you've ever been to Dubai or not. I've been a couple times. Highly recommend if you haven't been, by the way. Very cool. Right now, obviously, a little bit of turmoil in that region, and real estate prices have come down substantially. That's one of the things I'm going to be looking at acquiring potentially post-price appreciation is some real estate there in Dubai, Golden Visa, and all the fun stuff that comes along with that. So, separately though, if you went to Dubai right now, and even in the past 4 or 5 years, it's a police state. Like, there are cameras everywhere. Okay? There's almost nothing that you can do where you're not being watched in Dubai. There's almost zero crime. Like, I saw one cop in the 2 times that I've been there, and he was helping a person change a tire. If you do steal, like, the cultural norms of, like, chopping hands off and imprisoning people and the horrible things that they used to do are still in people's minds there. And I don't know what exactly they would do to you if you were caught and convicted of crimes. I'm sure it's not fun. But all that being said, like, super safe outside of the circumstances that we have with Iran right now in the region and what's going on. Like, the people there, they're not doing anything bad. Like, you could leave your phone in the mall and come back 2 days later and it would still be right where you dropped it. So is that a bad thing? It's technically a police state, like you just mentioned. 24/7, you know, people there obviously own things, and the taxes in that region are great. And they incentivize people to come there and build businesses and do things. So they're opportunistic on the capitalist side, but I would say they are a police state. So, which is it, right? Like, again, on the other side of this, I don't think it is a dystopian situation or utopian situation. I think it's somewhere down the middle, just like we've always had, and it'll be whatever you make of it, right? So, but having a little extra jingle in your pocket isn't going to hurt your status or your ability to be able to pull things in the direction that you want them. So I think it'll be just fine. I don't think we're going to have a situation here in the U.S. where it's tyrannical, but I do think there will be less opportunity for people in the future, which I am a little bit upset about. You know, and again, this is my whole point. I want to get a seat at the table so I can advocate that people do still have opportunity and create ways where that exists.